That's from Ayr to Alloway, so I travelled that route. Right, some readers like to have a preamble before a poem starts. Some readers would maybe tell you about where this poem started, when it's not really a poem, it's a tale. Some readers maybe tell you about the fact that in 1789, Burns was introduced to a rather portly retired army captain with the name of Francis Gross. And he made an agreement with this man that the only way that he was going to put the old Kirkcavalry in his book was if Burns was to write a ghost story. Some other readers might tell you about where Burns got the storyline for this. The fact that he knew about Douglas Graham, the farmer at Shanter down at the Maidens, and his wife Helen, who was a wee bit kind of superstitious. And he had a drink problem, and one night the worthies cut the tail off his horse, and this was the tale that he gave to Helen as a response to try and cover up. But this is Alloway Burns Club, and I don't need to give you that kind of preamble. We know. So we'll just go straight into the poem. When Chaplain Billies lay the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, and market days are weir and late, and folk begin to talk agate, as we sit, boozing and happy, getting food and unco happy, we think nae of the lying Scotch smiles, the mosses, waters, slaps and styles that lie between us and our hay, while sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering our brews like gathering storm, nursing our wrath to keep it warm. This truth fund honest Tam O'Shanter, is he for Ayr in Wichtig Canter. All there are near a town surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. Tam had thou but been so wise as to take thine ain wife Kate's advice. Oh, she tell thee weel, thou wast a skill, a blether, bluster, drunk, blelling, but for November to October, in market night thou wasna sober. Nelka Melder and the miller, thou sat as long as he had siller. Never naig that could have shown the smith, and you get roan full. And at the Lord's house, even on Sunday, thou drank with Captain Jean till Monday. Aye, she prophesied that late or soon thou wouldst be found drowned deep in Doon, or catch the warlocks in the muck by Aldi's old haunted pick. Ah, gentle dames, it does me great to think how many a counsel sweet, how many lengthened, sage advices the husband for the wife despises. But tear our tale. In market night, Tam get planket uncorrect. Fast spinning all blazing finely, with reaming swats they drank divinely. That is elbow, Suitor Johnny, his ancient, trusty, drouthy crony. Tam knew him like a very brother. They'd been fou for weeks together. The night drive on with songs and clattering, aye, they always grown better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious with favours secret, sweet and precious. The suitor tell his queerest stories. The landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without could roar and rustle. Tam didn't mind the storm a whistle. Here man, to see a man so happy, he drowned himself amongst the nappy. As bees fly home with loads of treasure, the minutes wing their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, or all else alive victorious. But pleasure is like poppy spread. You pick the floor, the bloom is shed. I like a snowflake in the river, a moment white, then gone forever. I like the borealis rays, it flits, there you can point its place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, a vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide. The hour approaches, tam and ride. That hour o' night's black arch the key stain, that dreary early mounts his beast in, and sick a nicht he taks the road in. Nae peer sinner was abroad in. The wind blew to blow its blast, the rattling showers rose in the blast, the speedy gleams, the darkness swallowed, loud, deep, and lang the thunder bellowed. That night, a child might understand the deal in business in his hand. Well mounted on his grey mare Meg, oh better never lifted leg, Tam scalpel on through dump and mire, despising wind and rain and fire. Past Crunier, some old Scotch sonnet, past holding fast his good blue bonnet, past glowering round with prudent cares, lest bubbles catch him unawares. Kirkcalway was drawn nigh, for ghasts and bullets thickly cry. By this time he was across the ford, or in the store the chaplain's sword, and by the park in Nicholstein, or drunken Charlie Braxneg Bane, and through the wind and by the cairn where the hunters spun the murdered bairn, and by the thorn of in the well where Mungle's mother hanged herself. Before him doon poured all his floods, the doubling storm roared through the woods, the lightnings flashed from pole to pole, near and more near the thunder roared, and glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkcalway seemed in a blaze. Throughout Cabot the beams were glancing, loud resounded mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, oh what dangers thou can make us scorn. The twopenny with fair navel, the Uskabay with face the devil. Aye, the slat say ringed in Tammy's rodel. Fair play, he cared nae deals about it. But Maggie stood sair astonished, until by hand and heel admonished, she ventured forward to the left. And wow, Tam saw him on close sight. Wallops and witches in a dance. Oh, nae could tell the only broke new for France, but hornpipes, jigs, spades and reels put life and metal in their heels. On that bunk to the east, there sat all Nick in shape of beast. A towsy type, black, grim and large, to give him music was his charge. He screwed their pipes and gat and girl till roof and rafters all had skirl. Coffins stood in like open presses that showed the dead in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip slicked, each in its called horn held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the Haley table a murderer's banes and gibbet tall, spine-line wee uncrescent bairns. A thief new cut it for the rape, with his last gasp, his gabbed at cape. 5 tomahawks were blood red rusted, 5 scimitars were murder crusted. A garter, a baby's throat had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, by which his ain son alive bereft, the grey hairs yet stuck to the heft, and near horrible and awful, but to name would be unlawful. How Tam stood, amazed and curious, as mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers fast and faster flew, the reel, the set, the cross, the clicker, till up Kirkcalway and Swat and Reekin and Custer Durries to the lark. and like it at it, in her sark. Oh, Tam. Had they been queens, all plump and strapping in their teens? Their sarks, instead of creasy flannin, had been snow white 1700 linen. The breeks of mine, the only pair that once were plush with good blue hair, had been off the hurdies, framed like ye bonny birdies. But with her bedlams old and droll, rigweedy hags twixt been a foe, limp, flinging in a cock, when her doesn't turn thy stomach. But Tam kent what was about food probably. There was once a wench in Whalley that night enlisted in the corps, lying after Kent on Carrick shore. For mony a beast the dead she shot and perished, mony a bonny boat, and shook baith meikle corn and beer, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark or paisley ham, that when a lassie she had worn, through longitude was sairly scanty, but was her best, and she was vanity. Oh, little Kent, thy reverend granny, the sark she cloth her wee Danny, but what one Scots 'twas all her riches, would have graced a dance of witches. Ah, but he might use her wingling cure, sae flesh, so far beyond her power. Deciding how nanny lap and fly, oh, what a supple jade she was, and strang, and how Tam stood, like ane bewitched. He thought he's very een enriched, even Satan glowered, and fetched through fade, and hocht and blue, with micht and main, the first innkeeper, sinner, Tam, tids his reasons all together and roars out, "Well done, Cutty's hat!" And in an instant, all was dark. Nay, sooner had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied. His bees fly out with angry fright, when plundering herds assail their bite. His open pussies, mortal foes, and pop, she starts before their nose. As eager runs the market crowd, when "Stop there, thief!" resounds aloud. Maggie runs, the witches follow her, mony an aldrich screech and holler. Oh, Tam, go get thy fern, and hell will roast thee like a hern. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming. Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Megan, win the keystane o' the brig. There, at them now thy tail may toss, a running stream, they dare thy cross. The keystane she could make, the fin, her tail, she had to shake. And Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie Preston, flew at Tam with furious settle. Ah, but little wishing Maggie's metal, for ain spring broke off her master heel, but left behind a rain grey tail. Garland clothed her with the rump, and left Pear Maggie scarce a stump. Now who this tale of truth shall read, both man and miller's son, tak heed. For ere to drink you're inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind. Just think, you may pay the joys our dear. Remember, Tam O'Shanter's mare.
Wasn't that just brilliant? Absolutely. Thank you so much, Phil. Neil McNaught is known to most folk here as the local minister of Alloway Parish Church. And we, as a club, are incredibly indebted to the church for the use of the halls for some of our meetings, and indeed on occasions such as tomorrow for the use of the church itself. I've been told that Neil is something of a sporting icon locally. In fact, I hear he's been frequently mentioned as the next Rory McIlroy